Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, look, I need to have a bit of a rant, I guess, a bit of a kind of discussion about what's going on with this new dungeon. PLARIUM are doing us a bit dirty. I've got to say it. They obviously want some engagement in this new dungeon, and the community are pretty pissed off. So I guess I'm going to come at this from two angles. Firstly, I'm going to just give my thoughts on it, right? Then I'm also going to try and show you some very early game type of techniques to try and beat the very start of this dungeon, okay? Because I think it's just about worth doing if you've got this crazy quest they've thrown in. So this is what's pissing me off. It's what's pissing a lot of people off. In the advanced quests now, which unlock, I think, if I remember rightly, level 35. And it's huge. Like, advanced quests are huge. I always say on my free-to-play accounts, like, do these daily because they just add up over time and you actually get yourself some nice stuff, right? So they've got into this kind of group, ascend an artifact one time. Now, the stupid thing about this is the advanced quests are kind of gated behind levels. Only some of these don't pop up until certain bits of content are unlocked. But the real problem here is they've unlocked Ascending Dungeon, the Sand Devil, too early. Yeah, way too early. In fact, way too early. Because this type of Ascension is really for people that are closing in on the end game. Yeah, and they want to kind of go and do something new. And I like that there's new stuff for end game, by the way. That's not a problem. Yeah, in fact, the game has to have a way to progress for all different player levels. Otherwise, you just lose all your end game and you're constantly having to top up the kind of newer players. So I'm not pissed off that this is hard, and I'm not pissed off that this is end game content. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. What I do mind is forcing very low level players into this place, and it's hard, really hard. Yeah, they unlocked this. I think it was level 38 or something. So I don't know what it is. It's like mid to late 30s. They unlocked this dungeon for people. Players at that level should be nowhere near it. Yeah. In fact, I would say this dungeon should probably unlock at about level 70. And I'm not even joking. Level 70, I think, is still like, is that right? Yeah. Maybe 60 at a push. But honestly, it's so irrelevant to the player base until they get that far. Right now, we've got a triple speed dungeon open, and we're forcing people to waste energy in the Sand Devil. It's stupid. If this was a key dungeon, then I get it. But it was a key dungeon, and they gave you 12 keys a day. Yeah, a bit like Faction Wars, a bit like Doomtail, that sort of stuff. Then it makes some sense, because we're not using our energy pool, which I've got to say, the energy pool is better than it's ever been, right? I'm not going to crap on that, because actually they've done some decent work around getting energy to players. But there's just so much more stuff to do. And there's so much more kind of direction in terms of where you should spread that energy. And I think forcing people into this Sand Devil's Necropolis this early on as a quest is stupid. I know they need it so they can go to their bloody board or to, you know, to their kind of committee meetings and be like, look, shareholders, fantastic news. We've got a new dungeon and people love it. Look, they're doing it every single day. They're using a quarter of their energy every single day on it. It's just not right for players. It's just not right for players. If they'd made it a key system, then we've got something going on. Let me talk about Ascension before I try and help people get through this thing. So, ascending items is minimal gain. Minimal gain, which means it's really at the point where you're min-maxing gear. And I don't mind that. Okay, I do not mind it as a concept. Yeah, if I want to kind of like, I'm on my Cupidus here, I want to min-max these gloves. I hit gold on these gloves. I rolled crit rate on one of my good pair of gloves. Yeah. So it's like, in terms of me min-maxing an item, okay, I don't need it right now, but I once that's leveled out, I change this Cupidus's gear. And you're like, great. However, on this piece, I rolled flat attack. I guess you could argue still not terrible. It's attack on an attack piece. Yeah, so I don't mind the whole ascending something. The trouble is, if you land something crap, I don't know if I got enough to even do another one, have I? Here we go. Let's try one more. If you land something crap, here we go. So Cupidus's piece with Massive attack percent rolls, crit rate, crit damage. A lovely piece. I hope you'd agree. Yeah? I've just rolled flat defense. It doesn't make the piece any worse, right? But for someone who's trying to min-max, I can't re-roll it. That's the first stupid thing, yeah? I cannot re-roll this piece with my essence and say, you know what, let's go again. That's the first stupid rule. The second stupid thing is it costs just way too much to do the entry-level thing. If you're going to force us to do this and ascend a piece for a mission every day, this costs too much. Yeah, because that's 60. That's basically a full energy refill farming lower levels. It's too much. It's too much to do it. Or you're not giving us enough juice. Yeah, one or the other needs to just be tweaked so that it makes some more sense. Or get rid of that quest. Because honestly, for a new player who's level 38 or whatever it is, this is such a minimal gain. Yeah, compared to spending that whole energy refill in a dungeon, getting gear. It's an incredibly small gain, or farming some masteries. Yeah, new players shouldn't be anywhere near this system. It's not a new player system, but then you're forcing it on new players. It's not right. It's actually not right. I don't mind that, like, endgame players need to spend their energy there. I don't mind that at all, because actually, by the point I'm at, I could spend 2,000 energy today on Dragon. I get 0 upgrades. Yeah, whereas if I spend 2,000 energy in the Sand Devil, as an endgame player, I could get some upgrades. Minuscule, but it's been maxing time for me. Yeah, so they've just got it wrong. They've pushed new players into this way too early, and they're forcing them to do it with quests, and it's pissing me off. It's pissing me off, but it's also pissing off the whole kind of player base that are at that lower level. So I've been kind of just looking at this thinking, look, level 1, you get 4 to 5 juice. So to get to the 60, yeah, to upgrade one piece, which gets you that quest, you need to do this, what, 10, 15, maybe 14 times. 14 times 8. Off the top of my head, but we're not going to. We're going to do it on a... We're going to make sure I don't get any mistakes. So 14 times 8, which is the energy cost. It's going to cost you 112 energy to get one piece ascended. And you get 130 energy back if you can do the rest of the quests. Yeah, so if actually that's your last quest to do, the last quest, once you complete them all, you get a full energy refill. So it's definitely... You should do it. You should do it. As long as you're doing the rest of the quests on a daily basis. Yeah. I understand anyone who says, I'm not going to do it because I don't like the fact that PLARIUM are pushing us to do that quest. I understand that 100%. Okay. And I'm with it. I've done this team here just to try and show, I guess, newer players that it's doable. Right. I've got 4 champs. Ideally, you do have an enemy max HP champ in the mix. I don't think our Apothecary is necessarily great here. I don't think Kale's necessarily great here. I don't think this dude's necessarily great here, honestly. I think I've just thrown 4 players in that I hoped people would have, or similar type of champs. These champs could be anyone, really. But if you see here, I've got Kale in what I think would be a relatively doable, like, stat sort of setup. 195 speed, lifesteal gear, some HP. I've gone HP on gloves and chest, speed on boots, and I've got no masteries on him. Ideally, you would have masteries. Only thing is War Master, which is the other thing they've got to change. You've got to change this, PLARIUM. War Master should not reduce a level of this dude's sleep. Yeah, it just shouldn't do it. In fact, bonus damage can only occur once per skill and does not count as an extra hit. Apart from where it absolutely pisses us off in Sand Devil. If you're going to make it count in Sand Devil, then make it count in Fire Knight as well. Yeah, because this is stupid. For me, that's a bug. It's a bug. It needs to be fixed. You managed to fix Nodgar in like 2 seconds. You should fix this as well. Because it's not good enough. But you see here, no masteries there. My Grush here, again, lifesteal gear, kind of random gear, really. It does have quite a lot of defense. He's got no speed. Yeah, in fact, there's even in speed boots. He's probably in defense boots here. Or he's in HP boots. Defense. None of this is like a requirement, by the way. I'm just trying to find some of my worst gear. It's hard to do. I don't keep crap gear really anymore. But let's assume I've taken all the jewelry off to try and help people understand this is a lower level build. Yeah. Just throw something else on. More normal stats, okay? So, you know, defense, HP, speed. Apothecary, just relatively quick. 230 odd speed. Everything else, I've kind of, again, on HP, and who else did I throw in there? Grush, Kale. Oh, yeah, my Armager. So my Armager, lifesteal gear. No jewelry, no masteries on any of these champs. And we've got, basically, I mean, I've pushed for, I don't even need crit rate, honestly, although, yeah, I suppose you do for the hit. I'm kind of pushing for relatively quick and enough survivability, honestly. So he's got crit rate gloves, he's got HP chest, he's got speed boots. And what we're going to do is prioritize Armager's A2. He's got no accuracy. I don't want him to drop turn meter. This is the other annoying thing. For someone who's newer, you build someone like an Armager to do a load of jobs, yeah? It could be in your Spider team, could be in your Finite team, could be in a load of Doom Tower teams for you. And then, really, you don't want any accuracy to fight this boss because you don't want him to kind of kill his own HP. So you're kind of building him in a slightly different way how you would elsewhere. But maybe you'll get away with it with accuracy as well, honestly. But we prioritize the A2 here to get that enemy max HP hit out as often as we can. And basically, we let it roll. And, you know, we're not doing, honestly, that much here. We're going to take the smack. The smack at lower levels is definitely, like, tankable. Yeah, if you get to stage 15 plus, that AoE hit is not very tankable. But we've got, if anything, Armager's not great here either because of his multi-hit. But he's not terrible. He gives us increased speed. He's got a heal on him. We get some debuffs out when the sleep goes out. The sleep's only going out when he does his AoE hits. If I had Muck Stalker in here forcing the sleep myself, then it's ultimately like 10 times better. But I appreciate new players won't have a Muck Stalker just built out. Yeah, because up until a week ago, he was absolutely arse. Yeah, he was an absolute arse champion. So not many people are going to have a Muck Stalker ready to go. Yeah, I would suggest over time, it's worth you building one. He's one of the best sleep champions in the game for this fight. But you can see here, it's a slow and steady. We are taking hits. But we do win the fight. Yeah, even with this kind of like very measly build, we're winning the fight. Armager's doing, actually it's a weak affinity for Armager as well. He's still doing a decent amount of work. And I guess I'll run this through this fight and then we'll take it up to the next level and see how far it can go with this very basic team that doesn't make any sense for the fight. And just see if we can get a couple of levels in. But I've run this now. This is going to be the 4th time. And I'll see what sort of time we get on this one. Well, you can see there, this one, I've done it the exact same team. Actually, changing Grush's gear, maybe that made a difference, but it was a couple of minutes the first time I did it. I'm actually wondering as well if Armager should just have accuracy to drop that turn meter and just take the turn meter drop. But let's see if we can do the next level as well. This is nasty for 2 of the team. I guess the affinities I got here are not ideal as a squad. But if you can get to the first kind of void fight with a similar type of team, then yeah, maybe it makes a bit more sense. But again, I'll let it run through. look, I mean, is it clean? No. Is it quick? Not really. If you could farm stage 4 and you're getting 6 a go, suddenly, you know, it's slightly quicker. You need 10 runs. It's still going to be costing you 100 energy to get back 130. It's up to you if you want to do it. I do feel like if you threw a Demacia in here as well as like a sleep champion with a revive, you could go another 5 or 6 stages, probably at least another 3 or 4 stages quite comfortably before you get in any sort of trouble. But back to the original point, like PLARIUM, you need to just consider the level of player that you're forcing this on. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I've been Hell Hades. See you later.